Hello and welcome. My name is Melissa McQueenie, and I am a licensed therapist and the host of the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast, where I share tips and tricks from my journey in the hopes that you'll gain the confidence to learn what's right for you in your journey. It would be really freaking boring if we all chose the same things. And I want you to learn how to use your intuition to trust yourself to make the right choices for your life. So without further ado, what time is it? Podcast time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast time. So today's episode is so freaking good. It's an awesome conversation between me and my new friend Callie, who I happened to find randomly on a Facebook post. And we talk about this in the episode, but I found her because my Facebook friend had a wonderful service done at her hair salon. And all it took was me looking through Callie's offerings and being blown away and so excited to get my own service. So I invited her to be a guest on the podcast while I sat in her chair and had my service done. I said, you have to be on this podcast. I'm obsessed with your business. I'm obsessed with how you've crafted this business to be perfect for you and really niche yourself into this community. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. I hope you do. And I hope you go follow her. And if you're in Connecticut or you're local, that you go get a service from her when she has her new studio open, because it is going to blow your mind. It is an entire experience. So here's the episode. Please don't forget to screenshot it, take a screenshot of the episode, tag me in your Instagram stories. I'd love to thank you for being here and for spreading the word about our podcast. So thank you guys. I hope you love it. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
We pronounce your name Callie, right?
Yeah, like California.
Callie Holley? Yeah. Okay. Welcome to Callie Holley. I am so excited to have her here. So I'm just going to give a background on how I found you, because I found so one of our mutual friends on Facebook went to go see Callie at her hair salon and raved about the service. Yeah, I saw it on Facebook,
and I knew that.
I don't know who it was. It was someone random on my I wish I could find it so who to thank.
Right.
But the minute she posted about it, I pulled up your website, and now I'm into everything woo-woo, everything, astrological, and everything in the universe and how it feels. And the minute I saw your offerings, I was like, I have to go immediately. I think I saw it, and I think I may have messaged you on Instagram like a weirdo and been like, I'm obsessed with you. And then I sent it to my astrologer.
Oh, you know what? You did message me.
I did. Yeah. I'm like, I'm a weirdo and I love you already.
I forgot about that. Yep.
But the
my God, I forgot about
offerings. Tell us about like how you started, what you do, like all of it.
So I was in healthcare for years. I was doing nursing assistant. I was an EMT, doing all that kind of stuff. And I was so miserable. I'm very artistic, and I've always been into this kind of stuff. So it just wasn't for me, but you have to pay your bills. So I was doing that for years. And then COVID happened, and I was working on a COVID unit, and I was like, I can't. That was the final straw that pushed me to get out of my comfort zone and to do something else. So that's when I went to cosmetology school, got my license and stuff.
Stop it! That was only years ago. That was in 2020?
Yeah. Yeah, just a couple years ago. Yeah. Yep.
That's wild. So, okay, go. Keep going.
I thrived. Even in school, I was the top student. They did they had never done it even for a student before. They featured me and did a whole little editorial thing about me and stuff. So I did really well, but I was thinking what is, people were always oh, you have to it's good to enter a niche, or it's good to do, and I just was I don't know. And then I loved like tarot and anything like spirituality and crystal, all this kind of stuff. So I was like, started getting kind of like little like bits and pieces of downloads, like, oh, well, what if I kind of added that into it? But it was still like in its infancy. I wasn't sure. So then after I got my license and stuff, I started renting, and then I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So like you were saying about your friend, people were like, oh, like that's weird, or people like say like negative things about it and everything, and I was like, no, like I want to do this. I didn't care what anybody thought. So I started
Yes.
like trying to find a way to like merge everything together, which I don't know, it just came like natural. Like I'm already creative, so I was just like merging stuff together and like, oh, I could do this, I could do that and stuff. And it turned out to be like super successful actually. Like the number one thing that I always get from everybody is like, "Oh my god, I've never seen anyone do this before," because nobody in like the hair or beauty industry really does that.
No.
So yeah, I can't wait to huh?
No,
What'd you say?
I saw the offerings and was like, what can I choose immediately and when can I go back? Because they were just so unique. Like I'm pulling up your menu right now, but like, what is like your favorite of your services? Like, what is your favorite of your services that you offer? Do you have one?
Definitely. So, yeah, I'm a Reiki practitioner also. So I think those are my favorite services. Doing like the energy work and healing on people, and then doing like blowouts and making their hair look pretty. Like I have different tiered services depending on people's budget and price point and stuff. So I just have like a basic energy healing with a like deep conditioning mask, or I have like a scalp facial, and then I have one that comes with a haircut after, and then style and stuff. And then I have like my bigger package, which I do like a gloss, like the whole thing. So I would say those are actually my favorite, definitely my favorite services. Any of the services that like that stuff, or when people add on like the little like astrology package that I have, I'll go into like their natal chart. When they book the appointment, they'll send me the details, like their birth time and all that. So I'll like look into their astrology chart and see what will work best for them. So I love doing that. And tarot too. So basically my services with all that kind of stuff.
So
It's so much more
you get
fun, and I feel like it
you
makes
get
it more
fired
unique.
up when people are fired up, like when they're excited about your menu of like your niche.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. I love because like so many people. Oh, I lost you.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you hear me? Can
Yeah,
you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay.
It's just
Okay, good. Go.
frozen.
Okay. I don't know what
Okay.
happened.
Yeah, I love like because so many people were, just like negative, and I love it because so many people like love, and I have, and then they come back too for another energy healing, or they'll come back for a different service, just like a hair color and stuff. So it's really expanded so much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. I love that because building a business, people often say, you need a niche. You should find what you love to do and the people that you want to help. Like, who are the people you want to help? And I know for me, that often makes me freeze like a deer in headlights. Like, I don't know because I want to help all the people. But the cool part about
Right,
narrowing down your niche is that those people who are obsessed with you and who want what you offer are obsessed with you, right? Like I know, and that might
yes,
be the same for
you
my
bring in
neighbor.
those
My
kind of clients.
neighbor, yeah, my neighbor may not give a shit about tarot cards being offered at a hair salon, but I do. Like I thought that was amazing. Like
Right,
what a way to combine. So
right,
you're speaking to the people who really want your service.
right. And that's another thing. I liked doing some of the stuff as an add-on. So it's like, so people that don't care about that stuff can just come get a regular hair service, and then people who like that stuff, they could add it onto their hair service.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
really liked the
that's
idea of
awesome.
doing add-ons. So it wasn't like forced. Right.
Yeah. Super, super cool. So now I have to share my experience because so I found her, I chose the scalp facial, and I
Oh,
that
yes,
came with,
yes.
I got the energy, like the rocks and the, like, I don't know what.
Yeah, it was like a rosemary mint. Yep.
Yes. So I'm so excited. I
Yep.
was I was looking forward to this appointment for like 3 weeks. I was so freaking pumped. And I get there and we start our service and I love it, right? I love it. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I have to tell her she needs her own studio. Like, and I'm sitting in the seat and I'm like, Melissa, you don't know this person. It
Yep.
would be so rude to say this to her. So I gently was like, have you thought about this? And you were like, yes, I'm getting my own space, like 100%. And I was
Yes, I
like,
feel like it's like the last puzzle piece.
oh my God. It is like when I tell you, and I'm talking about the listener who's listening, this is a whole experience. And that is exactly what you're new. So you've been in a salon, you've been renting a chair at a salon in Branford, Connecticut. So
Yep.
she is local
Yep.
to Connecticut people. So you were in renting this spot and now you are, can you share with us about like what your plans are and what you're doing? Is this
Yeah,
out in the
so I'm
public?
I'm still staying in Branford. I'm still staying in Branford. I like the shoreline. I think it's really nice down there. I love like the atmosphere. I just love being down there. So I'm still staying in that area. Plus a lot of my clientele is in that vicinity and stuff. So I can't wait to once I'm in my own place. So I also got like with the energy healings and stuff, I have like the galaxy lights and everything to turn the lights out. I think that's going to be really cool to just like make, like you were saying, make it a whole experience. And
Yeah.
it won't be because I also need like quiet to concentrate on what I'm doing. And it just wasn't fitting being in a salon and there's other people around. And it was very distracting for me, distracting for the person getting the service done too. Because, you want them to be like in a meditative state and you have people laughing and yelling and blow dryers going. So it was like taking away from what I was trying to do. And I was like, this isn't working. I need my own space, which isn't as easy as you think, like to find like there's not that many suites for rent, trying to find something in that area, that location. And it was weird because I was on Google just looking one day and I came across this place and I was reading the Google reviews. It didn't even have like an advertisement that they were renting. And people in the comments said, oh, this is a really good place to have my business in and stuff. So I was like, oh, like let me just call for the heck of it and see if he's like renting. And I happened to call and he was like, oh, that's weird that you called. He's like, I haven't even advertised it. He's like, the lower level, we're actually turning them into suites and going to be renting them out. He's like, I haven't even told anybody. And it was just so weird. It was like it was meant to be. Because
Yes.
I was getting like discouraged. I couldn't find anything and for exactly what I needed. And then this just happened to come along and I'm so excited. I can't
Well,
wait
because
to like decorate and
you probably needed something that you could really make your own. Like, and you need
yes.
functional
Yeah.
things like hair washing and, and
Yeah.
this is like when I tell you I loved the service that I got. I got the scalp facial, the whole, energy thing, and I loved everything about it except the environment,
Yep.
right? That is the
Yep.
only piece. Like, this is like your business is going to be mind blowing. Like, I cannot wait to come because
I know, I'm so
having the
excited.
environment with the services, it's an experience. And like, it was just so funny. Like, I remember
Right.
sitting there in the salon because mindset is a big piece of this too. And when you're
Yes.
in an environment, when you're trying to clear your energy and you're hearing Jane getting her hair cut
People
and
screaming
complaining
and
about the
laughing.
traffic. Yeah, like I didn't want like that's not the vibe.
Yes.
Like you need to cultivate the vibe and that's what you're going to
Absolutely.
be able to do.
Yep. Yep. I know. I'm so excited too because there's no other place that does this.
No.
I'm like gonna be the first in Connecticut. There's no other place, and really around the country. Like I've looked just for the heck of it to see, and there's not really nobody else does the same thing. So I'm
I
like
told
very
you
excited about that.
I sent this to my astrologer in California and he was blown away. Like I don't even know if this is out in California. I mean, maybe in some places, but like you are breaking the
Yeah,
ground.
I know. I'm so excited. I can't wait to move into there because I know, like, I've looked around the country and stuff, and I think there was like, and they didn't even do the same exact thing. I think they just gave you like a crystal and did like a little like crystal thing, but that was it. And then it was just a regular salon.
Yeah.
So it's really the only place that's like going to be set up this way and do the services that I do and stuff as of right now. So I'm really excited about that too. I just can't wait to like get in there to start promoting like the space.
Yeah. So, like, can we go back when you went through school to get your cosmetology license, and then you thought about these interests that you had that created your niche, and people were not always positive. How did you push past that? Like, this is your
Honestly,
first
I was,
entrepreneurial
yeah,
journey, right?
yeah, yep. I just knew, like, it's weird. Like, I just knew in my soul, like, I was like, no, like, I know that, like, I'm meant to do this and I'm on to something here. So it didn't even, like, phase me. I was just like, they could think whatever, say whatever. Like, I know, like, the path. I was like, I don't even know where this path is leading me, but I just know I'm going down the right path. Almost like
Yeah,
instinctually, like, knew.
I
And
love
so
that.
it's just like I've been just following my intuition and my gut this whole time, like navigating. And even sometimes I'm just like, like I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I just like know in my soul that what like I'm just meant to do this. And I
Yeah.
love helping people too. I love like the healing aspect of it and helping them and talking to them, or even if I do tarot readings, like they'll be in a situation that they're having and problems and stuff. So I love, just like you being a therapist, I just like love, it makes me feel better too to help people and kind of give them some guidance and talk to them about what I'm seeing in the cards and stuff. And it just makes me feel better to help people. And then you're making them feel good on the outside too with their hair. So it's kind of just like a whole package.
It almost reminds me of when I started my run walk therapy business. It sort of combined, this need for people to talk to someone objectively and also knock out some exercise, right? Like the walking sessions really spoke to like
Right,
that certain group of people who wanted that like tailored experience, and that's what you offer. It's like, let's get your hair
right,
done and knock this out. And I think people who are busy like things like that, where they can like, all right, I have these two interests, how can I merge them and save myself time, right?
right. Like to
Like,
kind of decompress. Right.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, kind of like a time to like decompress and stuff. And then I always tell people too, because you can feel, or I can feel like if somebody's energy is closed off, it almost builds like an energetic wall around you and prevents you from getting healing. So now in a new space without all the distractions and
Yes.
noise and people everywhere, I think it'll be much more conducive to what I'm doing. And then, they'll have like, there's able to get into like a meditative state and relax and not have all this stuff. And they can kind of like heal, like, just heal better and stuff because where I was at before, it wasn't, it wasn't the best environment. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah. So now let me
Especially,
ask you this.
you
Oh,
know,
go.
No, no, no. I was just gonna say it wasn't the best environment. Some people in there didn't, like what I was doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how
Yeah, it's
did
just
they
like you can
receive it?
feel like when it's toxic.
Did they were they into it?
Yeah, I don't,
No.
no, no. They weren't
Yeah.
in, like, they weren't into it and just like that toxic energy. So I was just like, I have to get out of here. Not just for that, but
Yeah.
it was just like, it was like compounding the problem.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
So
hard when
yeah,
you're so excited about something, and then people that come to you are excited about something. Because I remember when I sat in the chair and you told me that about, being open to it, and I was like, I'm so excited. Like, but that's the energy that you
right.
want around your business, right? Like not that other
Yes,
energy. So this I
definitely.
just I'm so excited for you. Um, Let me ask you this. So the people
Definitely.
that may not have been super receptive to your idea in the beginning, are they coming around to it now?
Um, I think some people are actually shocked. Like I've heard, I mean, nobody's like said it right to me, but I've heard from other people, like, say that people were having a discussion and they're like, oh, I can't even believe that she's doing that good, or I can't even believe, like, I can't believe that took off. Or you can just kind of like feel like they're just like, oh, maybe I was wrong,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
It's the best feeling,
But
right?
yeah, I don't even care.
Yeah.
Right. And I just feel bad because I just knew. I was like, I know what I was doing was the right thing to do. And yeah, I didn't even let it bother me.
Yeah, you got to block out the noise, right? And you had that inside of you where you
Yep.
knew instinctively this is the right choice for me. This is the path, and I got to figure it out what's on the other side of that. And that's I think a lot of businesses are birthed that way, and we have to push out that outside noise of the people that may be trying to protect us, but we don't need that, negativity because we are the only
Right.
ones who know in our hearts what the right journey is for us. And that's the whole point of this freaking podcast, right? Like it's your
Definitely.
journey.
Definitely. Right. Yeah, because even when, I feel like fear gets in the way a lot
Yeah.
for anybody. So, like with hearing negative things and then just being fearful, you don't like go out and do maybe what you want to do or ideas you have because you're afraid of like what people will think or people will, say like, oh, that's a bad idea or that's stupid and stuff. So I feel like a lot of times people don't act on stuff due to fear. And, like it's scary, like the unknown is scary. But if you never try, then you're always going to regret it if you never tried and stuff.
I know. Like, do you ever think about like where you'd be if you hadn't taken that leap?
Yeah, I would still be miserable.
I know.
I would still be in healthcare miserable. I mean, no offense to healthcare workers, but it just wasn't for me. So,
Yeah.
it was like I could tell that I was changing as a person. Like I was just becoming like angry all the time, frustrated,
Mm.
short-tempered. Like I was just like so miserable, and it felt like once I started like following and even when I first set out, I didn't even know exactly what I was going to do because I was thinking of like different things, like should I go to school for this, that, like looking into different stuff. And then I was like, well, I always liked hair and like beauty stuff. So I was like, well, let me try that and stuff. So I went into that, but I still at that point didn't even know like what it was going to be now. I had no idea. It was like a little bit at a time, like just new ideas and creating new things. And then even when I first got my license, I knew that I think at the time I had just put like a tarot ad on. I think I just had like
Oh,
tarot
that was
add-ons at
your
the
first.
time. But then also, yeah, I think that was like the first thing I did. And then also being a doing Reiki healing and stuff like that, I was like, oh, like
Yeah.
it just dawned on me, like, why don't I start combining it and
Yeah.
do like, to feel better on the inside and the outside. So it's like everything's kind of like shifted and changed and transformed and like things I want to add on some more stuff too in the new place. I started kind of like thinking of some more ideas for like services or different things to do. So I'm
So
excited to
cool.
see like once I'm in, yeah, like I'm excited to see like where it's gonna go.
Yeah. Um, oh my God, I was just gonna ask you a question. It'll come back to me. Um, I have so many swirling thoughts about like it's just at what point and what did you have to do to turn your own space into a reality? Were you like I have to save X or make X or like how did that go down for you?
Oh god, I don't I don't even know, like you mean like planning out for like my own space or
Yeah, like if did you get to a certain point where you're like this could be a reality or like did it just sort of naturally happen and you were like I have to get out of this like space that I'm in right now? Like how
yeah,
did
I
that
know,
look?
right at first. So probably like a number of months in, at first I was okay. And then kind of as my menu progressed and I started adding on and incorporating the stuff and like blending it all together, I was like, okay, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
I was doing my best in the place that I was at and stuff with my clients, but I was like, all right, this isn't gonna work. I need my own space. And then kind of as I started incorporating more of that stuff, like I was saying, the it was kind of like, the other people in it, it's not the best environment. So it was like, I was like, I need to get out of here. So then I started looking, and then that's when I was telling you I kind of got discouraged because I couldn't find anything for like they either want like an outrageous amount for 100 square feet
Yeah.
or it's like not the right location. Like I was just having a hard time finding like kind of exactly what I was looking for. So I just kept an eye out. I just like, I was just bearing with it. I stuck with it. I just kept doing my appointments and stuff. But I definitely got to the point that I was like, I cannot do that like another week. Like I cannot do this anymore. Like I need my own space to do this because I feel like also it was like we were saying with the environment, I felt bad when I was doing a service because I felt like my clients were having a hard time with like noise, the distractions, and I could tell, like you can feel it and stuff. They were being like they kept getting like interrupted, distracted, and I was feeling so terrible. Like I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm giving them a service, but they're not getting like the full effect of the service because of like our surroundings. So I felt terrible about
Yeah.
that. But that's
Well,
basically, and then I was just looking like every day.
yeah. And what I was going to say about that, because I was just talking to someone about Reiki the other day. I guess like long story short, like the wife was saying that the husband is going to go try Reiki because traditional medicines haven't worked for whatever he's going through. And I was saying like when it comes to services like that, like Reiki and energy stuff, I'm always way less interested in because people are like, does it work? When you're focusing any time on yourself,
On the
breathing,
end result,
sitting,
yes.
yeah, like just enjoy the
Yep.
journey. Like that's what that stuff is all about, right? It
Yep.
any time that you can spend on you is valuable time. So whether that's a massage, Reiki, like the energies, like all of that stuff has a benefit. Sitting down and deep breathing has a
Right.
benefit. So, just in
Right.
case there's somebody out there
Absolutely.
who's like, that stuff doesn't work. Like, first of all, you're focusing on that end result when it's the journey, which is
Yes.
anything.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. That actually can like block you if you're just if you're so hyper fixated on the end result, it'll could almost create like blockages for you and
Yeah.
have an opposite effect. If you're just focusing on the end result, and also it depends too. Like everybody's different. Everybody has different traumas, different.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to take more time, say, to heal something that's 20 years old, 10 years old, than something that happened to you a week ago. It depends on that too, of what you have going on. So a lot of times people, like anything else, like exercising and stuff, it's not just like a one and done
No.
type thing. You have
Consistency.
to at least like, be consistent about it. It's not like you're just going to go for energy healing one time and that's it and you're going to be good for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah,
also
it's a
another
process.
misconception with people. Right, definitely. It's a process. And a lot of times people think like, "Oh, I'll just get a healing and I'll be good." Yeah, you might, you're going to feel good and healing stuff, but, it's after like a week or two. That's another thing like just, you have to kind of keep up with it.
Yeah. It's like an ongoing self-care practice, right? And I feel
Yeah.
like I remember I
Yep.
was so proud of myself when you were like, "Oh, it doesn't feel like you're holding on to a lot of things." And I'm like, "Yay, I'm doing my job correctly." But like I do
Yeah.
take care of myself ongoing. So that wasn't super surprising for me to hear, right? Like because I'm
Right.
consistently pouring into myself. So that doesn't mean I'll never get one again. Like I can't wait to go have the experience again. But
Exactly.
I'm also going to take my care of myself in lots of different aspects.
Right.
Um, what
Right.
is
You keep
your
up with
favorite?
it.
Like, do you, whoa, we almost lost power. Do you
Yeah.
ever, what's your favorite service to get? Like, do you go to anybody for these things or do you do them on yourself or like, what do you do?
um it's so terrible. I really don't. Like as far as hair, I know as far as hair, I do my own hair.
I love
Like
it.
I'm like super like particular, so I don't go to anybody for my hair. I do like all my own stuff. And that's part of the reason
Wow.
why I went into cosmetology because I always like did my own hair. But at least now I know the proper ways to do it and not just like taking kitchen scissors and like
That's what I
bleaching
do.
stuff. I know, the
I
proper
do
way.
like
Right.
the flip over pony and then chop chop.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Just like getting the kitchen scissors, and like, oh, I'm cutting layers and just chopping
Well,
off my
who
hair.
didn't do
At
that in
least now I
COVID?
know what
We
I'm
had
doing.
to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, everybody was doing their own stuff. Yeah. I remember if you went into the store to even get like fake nail or eyelash nail anything, everything was sold out.
Yeah.
I remember that. Like the nail
Like
polish
all
was
the
gone,
kayaks, all
everything.
the sports equipment too.
Was it really?
Yeah, all the weights. Everyone
That's
was
so
doing
funny.
at home workouts, but no
Yeah,
one had any equipment to do it with. 'Cause okay.
right, right. Yeah, it was like everything was just all the shelves were just barren.
I love it. And you were making a
Yeah,
big
but
pivot on your own in COVID. I mean, that's crazy that that was just 4 years ago.
yeah, I know. It's crazy. It feels like so long ago, but at the same time it doesn't. It feels like just yesterday. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Well, I
And
mean,
then
look at what you've done
like
in
I,
4 years.
even I know. I have sometimes because I'm very like hard on myself. So sometimes I'm like, oh, like why aren't have I done this yet? Why like I need to do this, I need to do that. And then I take a step and I think back and I'm like not like look at all you've done, all the stuff you've accomplished in just like 2 years
Yeah.
time, like a couple years time. It's a lot, and then I have to be like, okay, like it makes me feel. But sometimes I'm like very, very hard on myself, where I'm just like, you know, why aren't I at this level yet? And it's like, well, I have to take a step back and look at all the stuff because you forget like all everything that you've been through
Yeah.
until you like reflect back on it, and you're like, wow, I've actually done a lot for just a few years.
100%. Yeah. And pushed against the grain. Like that's what I love is like people were like, "What are you doing?" And you were like, I don't care what you say. Like I'm still doing this." Because it would have been really easy to be like, "You're right." And then just done hair.
Yeah,
You
yep,
could have done that.
yeah,
Like
no,
that's
it's true.
definitely an option. But you didn't. You went towards
Yeah,
what
no,
was
it's
exciting to
definitely
you.
true. Right. I've always been like a rebel. So since the time I
Me
was like little, I've
too.
always been a rebel.
Yay.
Yeah, I was always like the troublemaker and stuff and never like conforming and against authority and stuff. So I feel like all those people saying like, "Oh, that's stupid," or "Oh, you're not going to be success," it makes me want to do it like even more.
Yes.
Just to
I'll
like
show
show them that I'm
you.
like, right,
I love
right,
that. Rule
exactly. Like it
breakers
drives
unite.
me even more. Exactly. Right? Because it's just like you're like, okay, you're saying I can't do something, or it's a stupid idea that nobody's gonna, go do that and stuff. So it makes me want to do it even more.
Yeah. I love those people that give us that fuel. I really thank them every single day for that.
Yep, yep. I mean,
That's
that's
what brings
like
us
that's
to our
been part
goals.
of like not all, but that's been part of my motivation, right? Because there was a lot of people that, even people that I had gotten went to school with and got my license and stuff. People were like laughing, like, oh, that's stupid, like after the fact, like because I was scared when I first started posting this stuff on Instagram. I was really nervous especially in the beauty community of how it would be received because there wasn't in the community. I was very nervous, like, oh my God, what is everyone gonna think and stuff. But then I was like, you know what? Who cares? So I just started doing it and it was received much better than I thought.
I
But I
love
was
that.
really nervous at first though. I was like, what are people gonna think? Especially in the beauty community, people can be very like stuck up. And I'm not like that at all. I'm like very
It's
down to
scary
earth.
to
I'm
come
not
out
like that.
there and share something that you're passionate about or share something that's on your heart. You know, a lot of people don't do it. That's why, like, when people are like, what are people going to think? I'm like, are those people that you're worried about, are they out there shooting their shot? Are they out there sharing their heart? Because if they're not, I don't give a
Right.
fuck what they say. I just don't.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Because anyone
No,
who's
you
out
can't.
there knows
Otherwise, you'll
how hard it
never
is.
go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. If you never like step out of your comfort zone, you're not going to do anything. You can't care what other people think. And, even now, like, I have fear, like, going into my own place and stuff. I mean, I think it's natural, but you just can't care what other people think or you're not going to accomplish anything. Because I feel like everybody always has something to say. People love
Now,
talking shit.
let me ask you this. Have you like when you started your offerings, like when you first put the tarot out there, was there any or at any point did you feel like I just put this out there and it's not being received, or maybe nobody's booking it? Like, did you ever have that, like, oh shit?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I've had times like that where I'm like, oh, and I had people would unfollow me. Even people that I've known for years, they unfollowed me saying like it's like devil worship and stuff.
Oh
Like
no.
because of religious beliefs and everything. I've had people unfollow me. I've had people DM me too saying like, "Oh, you're not a Christian anymore. I see you're doing this, that." And I'm like, "No, I still am." And like they've unfollowed me. Yeah, I've had a lot of like interesting situations like that. And then also, I've had times where when you're just starting out, so basically how it works, like when you get out of school, everybody, like 98, maybe 95 to 98% of people, they go and they're an assistant to somebody for a year, 2 years. Then they'll work for a salon. Then maybe one day I just left
Oh, you
school,
just
went right
grew.
off on my own renting.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, okay, I have to build a clientele now. I have to, like, so I've just, like, I just, right out of, and that's another thing. People were like, oh, she just got her license. She's never going to make, like, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, watch me. I feel it, obviously it's not for everybody, but,
I love
but
that.
it's like, that was another thing of, yeah. I didn't care. I was just like, I want to do, like, I don't want to, I'm not going to be an assistant. I'm not going to sit there for 2 years being an assistant to somebody. I could do this myself. So I was like, I'm just going to go for it.
Good for
Yep.
you. Thank goodness you
But
did.
like I'm so glad I did. Otherwise, I'd probably just be finishing up being an assistant right now. If you know what I mean? Like in nowhere. If I
Yeah.
had listened to everybody else, like even when I was in school, people were like, I remember some of the instructors were like, "Oh, where are you going to be an assistant? Where are you thinking?" And I was like, "I'm not. I'm going off on my own." And they looked at me like I was crazy because it's like it's not common, like nobody really does that. But like I
Well, it's
said,
sort
I've
of like
always like been a
it's
rebel,
sort
so
of
I
like
was just
the
like,
kid, the kid that's graduating high school, and everyone's like, "Where are you going to college? Where are you going to college?" And the kid's like, "Fuck you, I'm not going to
right,
college. I'm going to trade school." Like,
exactly, yep,
you
yep,
make your own path,
yeah.
and you
Like
knew that
there's
that was
always
the
like
right move for you.
exactly. Yep. Yeah, I
Love.
just knew. I was like, no, like, I just know that I have it in me to go on my own, like, do all this stuff. And that was even before I started adding all this different stuff into my menu, but I just knew. And I was confident. Obviously it's fear, the unknown, so you're still fearful, but I was just very confident in myself, like, that I know that I can do it.
I love it
So,
so much.
but then,
So
another
where
thing,
where can people find you? So your studio is gonna, or your salon is gonna be in Branford. T- Address to be
yeah, it's right
announced.
on Route 1 in Brantford.
Okay. And you're
Yeah,
on
I'm gonna announce the address
Instagram.
after it's like,
Yeah, yeah. You're on
yeah, right now
Instagram,
I'm
and
only on Instagram.
your menu, because I was just on it, is all I'm gonna put this all in the show notes.
Yeah.
Your Queen of Wands hair on Instagram, and her whole menu is on here. And if you are have these interests like I do and like she does, you are gonna be obsessed because there's just so many. Like, I cannot wait to come back and do more in your space.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I go through so obviously I do all traditional hair services, highlights, haircut, all that kind of stuff. And then with the energy healing, like the Reiki packages that I have and stuff, I go through all your chakras and stuff. I see what you have going on, if you have blockages, stagnant energy, too much energy running through, kind of like scope out and see what you have going on. So while I do like the conditioning treatment or whatever it is I'm doing, I'll go through and do all your chakras, balance them, clear your energy. I use like different like modalities. I'll use the crystals. I use a pendulum sometimes, and then I do like a smudging and stuff. So I do everything from top to bottom, and then I'll blow out or haircut or whatever else you're getting.
I thought I had my little gift from you right here in my pile,
Oh
but it was
yeah,
so
and
cute.
then right,
The little scrunchie.
yeah, the little, yep, yep,
You know it's right around me.
yeah.
I'm afraid
Then
I'm gonna
all
knock
of
my
like
mic
my
out though.
energy. Yeah, I do the little gifts like with all of my packages like that. Whether it's the energy healing, the tarot, or the astrology one, I do like the little gift bag with the little crystal jar and then like the satin scrunchie.
And I see now, I don't know if I noticed this before, but you do like vivid hair coloring, like rainbow.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's really
I do
cool
it
too.
all.
You do it all. You're like a
Yeah, I do like
one-stop
all.
shop.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, I do like vivid balayages, highlights, everything. Yep.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for being here. I knew that the minute like I had the service and then when we really started talking about your business, I'm like, I need you to come on the podcast. Like I'm obsessed with you. I'm
I
obsessed
know.
with what you
I'm
have
so
to
excited. I've been
offer.
looking forward to
I know. And you dealt
it. I
with me last
know.
week. We were supposed to do this last week and I got stuck at the car dealership. And thank you so much for your flexibility. I'm like, I'm not going to be
No, it's
home.
fine. Yeah,
But
no,
you
it's
did
fine. It's
it,
actually
right?
worked out
Like
better for me anyway.
shit happens, right?
Right, right. Yeah, not a big deal. This actually worked out better anyway, so
Good, good. I'm so glad. Well, thank you so much for being here. Keep me posted on everything because
I
I'm
will.
coming as soon as you're open. I want the whole experience because even
I
in the
will.
salon with the
I know. I
busyness,
can't
it
wait
was
to have you.
amazing.
Right,
Awesome.
right.
Well, thank you. I'm going to stop
Thank
the
you.
recording.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
All right, thanks.